Hey there guys, with the new term approaching, I thought it would be a good idea to do 5 top tips for new law students starting this year. So let's get started with number 1, which I think is probably the most important, and that's to enjoy yourself. Most people don't know that in the majority of UK law courses, the first year doesn't actually count towards your overall degree qualification and the classification of that degree as well. So it's really important you use that first year to not only get used to starting the course and studying law and making new friends as well, but also to actually enjoy being at university and to try and join as many societies as you can. So not just the law society, but anything else that might take your interest. So you might be interested in debating, you might want to join the debating society or a politics society. Similarly, you might also be interested in sports, so join the football club or join the tennis society. There's normally a society for everyone at university, so it doesn't matter whether you're into Dungeons and Dragons or netball, there'll be something that you'll enjoy and something that you'll be able to get the most out of. Now, just because that first year doesn't count towards your classification doesn't mean that you can doss around completely. But just bear in mind that it doesn't matter, and it's not the end of the world if you don't get first class grades right from the start. Law is quite an unusual subject and has a different essay writing style to a lot of other degrees, and it takes people a little while to get used to that. So make sure that you sort of work hard, but also that you enjoy your time as well. Secondly, revolves around the textbooks. Now, this is a bit of a controversial topic, because people spend so much on textbooks, especially the textbooks that are recommended by their tutors. But if you're spending that amount of money on something, you definitely want to get your money's worth, and so it's really important that you have a textbook that suits you. So perhaps, for example, when I did my first year, I bought all of the recommended textbooks, but then found that the majority of them didn't actually suit the style of the way that I learnt law and didn't really make much sense in the way that they explained things. So I ended up buying more textbooks to actually get ones that suited me and suited the way that I learnt. So I think before you actually go ahead and buy the recommended textbooks, it's perhaps useful to go to the bookshop or go to the library, have a read through a selection of textbooks and see which one makes the most sense to you and which one you actually enjoy reading, because it's going to last you for the whole year hopefully, and so it's really important that you get that. Now, if the teacher does ever sort of question why you haven't got the recommended textbook, then just explain to them that you didn't find it useful and that you'd rather read this one that makes a lot more sense to you. Remember that all law textbooks are going to cover the key topics, so it shouldn't really matter which one you do. And so the textbook that you pick should depend on your own learning style. The third tip is in relation to turning up. Now, law students generally don't have a heavy schedule, but it's really important that when you do have lectures and tutorials that you do turn up. Not just because this is an opportunity to learn from an expert themselves, an academic, but also because it'll be your opportunity from when you have done the reading to actually ask questions of the professor or the lecturer and have something explained that you don't necessarily understand. They can take the time to go through that with you. Also, it's a good opportunity to sort of discuss things with friends as well, and do so in an environment that's sort of conducive to learning. Now, it's not always ideal because there will be some tutors that you like more than others, and there'll be some lecture times that are sort of 9 o'clock on a Friday morning where you're thinking, oh, I just can't be bothered with that. But it is really important that you do take the time to actually go to those lessons. The fourth tip is about cases. Now, obviously the key reading is the textbooks that you'll buy, but it's also important to sort of go beyond that and to read some of the key cases. This isn't to say that you have to read every single case, but there are some important cases in different subjects and different subject areas. So, for example, if you are studying contract law in the first year, Carlisle and Carbolic Smokeball Company is one of the most important cases that you'll study, and so you should take the opportunity to actually read that case in full. This means that you can sort of skim read cases if you don't find them particularly interesting and try and get to the key point, which is often towards the end of the case. But it is important that you do read things like cases as well as academic journal articles because they'll help boost your learning and will also be useful when it comes to writing essays as well. The final top tip from me is IRAC, which is not a reference to the country in the Middle East, but rather IRAC, and this is a particular method for approaching law essays. Most people who start a law degree won't have actually studied law before, say at A level for example, and so won't be aware that writing a law essay is very different to any other academic type of essay. However, the IRAC formula helps you to get the highest marks possible within a relatively straightforward and easy to apply structure. So what does it stand for? Well, I stands for issue, so the first thing you do in any particular essay or paragraph is to identify the issue that you wish to address. R then stands for rule, so this is where you take all of your legal knowledge from textbooks, case law, journal articles, and you write about what the rule is in that particular issue that you're addressing. A is probably then the most important part. This is application, and so you're applying that knowledge to a scenario or a particular essay question. That's really important, and that's where most people pick up their marks alongside the actual legal knowledge itself. C finally then stands for conclusion, and this is where you conclude your point by summing up the application and looking at both sides of an argument before coming to some sort of decision within the essay. So that sums up my 5 top tips. If you did enjoy this video, then make sure to leave it a like. Also, if you are starting as a law student this year, then good luck to you. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's hard work as well, but definitely worth it in the end. If you do subscribe to this channel, you should definitely check it out because there's loads of different videos on different law topics, so hopefully that will be a help as well. And also, if you do have any questions, or perhaps if you're a law student who's already in their 2nd or 3rd year, perhaps you'd like to leave your own tips below as well. Well, thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!